Hey, Phil here, and I want to answer some questions that people have posted on a post of mine in the Passive Income Show group. I want to apologize. I'm sweaty, I'm hot, I've been recording and editing videos the entire day, but I had this green screen up and I wanted to use it, and I got so many great questions from people on this post where I basically asked people, hey, what questions do you have for or about online teaching? And I got a lot of great questions and I wanted to respond via video as well. So I'm going to go through 10 questions for online course creators. Question number 1 is, when you look at your most successful course, what would you say is the 1 or 2 biggest reasons why it's successful against the competition? My most successful course is my photography masterclass course. And it's partly successful because of that. It's big, it's massive, but it's also general in the sense that it's great for beginners. And I think those big classes that are good for beginners have more success than the higher advanced courses because there's a bigger pool of people that might be interested in that. If I taught a advanced photography class, well, there's a big audience for that, but there's not as big of an audience as everyone who wants to take photos and be better at it. So because it's a masterclass, because it's general, and because it's 15 hours long at this point, that makes it a desirable class for someone to take. The other reason why that class in particular is more successful than the rest of mine is because I spent so much time and energy creating that course. My buddy Sam and I, we spent weekends and days and weeks shooting this course. We went all around San Francisco, Berkeley, Bay Area. We shot in multiple locations with professional cameras and lighting and gear, and we added a lot of cool practice exercises to keep it engaging. All of those reasons combined make it a successful class. Question number 2 is, which learning platform are you most excited about right now? Right this second, I'm really excited about Udemy. Today was the day that their fixed price deals went back into effect, and I've actually made over $1,000 in the past 24 hours from my courses. So I'm really excited about the fixed price deals coming back. No, I don't want them to always be doing fixed price sales. I don't want average course prices to go down. But in the end, if we're making more revenue as instructors, and that means we can create better courses, invest in better equipment, bring more instructors on the platform who are excited about teaching, then that's all good. And if it can grow the student base on Udemy more rapid than it was when we had the previous price change, then I think that's good. So right now, I'm excited about Udemy. Aside from Udemy, I'm always excited about my own platform and my own brand. Seeing the people subscribe to the YouTube channel, seeing people visit my website, that gets me excited. And it's those people and it's that platform or that brand that's going to keep me successful in the long run. Whether Udemy continues to grow, it stagnates, or it disappears, or any of the other platforms where I sell my courses, if I have my own brand, that's what matters. Question number 3. Do you have a morning routine? I try to have a morning routine. I love meditation. I love exercising. I love sleeping in too. Actually, not that much. I don't like sleeping in that much. Ask my wife, and I do not like sleeping in at all compared to her. But I don't get up at 4 a.m. I don't get up at 5 a.m. like other entrepreneurs I read about. But I do try to have a routine. Every morning I'll wake up around 7. What I do is actually something that a lot of people say not to do. I check my emails, but I don't really respond to emails. I'll just quickly check all my emails and delete the ones or archive the ones that I don't care about. The spam, the ones that don't need a response or anything like that, I get rid of so that when I actually start my workday, I only have emails that are important left to look at. After I check my emails for a few minutes, I feed my cats. I then go on a walk most days with Isabel, my wife. We do a 20-minute walk, which is just a great way to catch up, kind of talk about what's on the plan for the day, and gives us a little bit moment before the day starts to connect. Then we'll come back. I'll shower if I'm not working out later in the day. I do try to save water, so sometimes I wake up and I don't shower till later on. Sorry if that's a little bit embarrassing, but yeah, I'll save water and I'll shower later if I'm going to go on like a bike ride later on, or I'll shower and then I'll eat a quick breakfast, Usually something pretty simple: cereal, toast, coffee every other day. I try not to drink coffee every day because I don't want to get addicted to it. So I rotate and I do coffee every other day. I'm usually more productive on my coffee days. I'll be honest. And then I get to work around 8 o'clock. I am ready to get to work and going, and I jump right in. Sometimes I jump right into my emails. Sometimes I jump right into a task at hand that I want to get done. Question number 4. How do you overcome procrastination, and how do you sell your product or services online, especially if you are a newbie? Okay, so that first one is about procrastination. I think that I am lucky that I have a drive that really I'd never procrastinate that much. Sometimes I do some binge watching of Netflix shows right now, Stranger Things. But a lot of times I get to work. I set a schedule. Even though I'm working at home on my own terms, I run my own business, I still set a schedule. I wake up every morning, I work 8 hours a day, and I work Monday through Friday. I also leave time for pleasure. So I leave the evenings free. I leave the weekends free. And I think that's important too, to build in that time where you can just relax. And that makes the time you're working more productive. And ultimately, I think the reason why I'm so productive is that I realize that when I'm not productive, that affects my business. Now that I run my own business, every moment and every single thing I do either makes my business better, makes my business stronger, makes my clients and my customers happier, makes me more money, or not. And so I want to spend my time doing the right things, and just knowing that. And because I depend on that, this is my full-time thing. I don't have another source of income that will pay for everything, even though my wife works, which is awesome, and she could pay for everything, but I don't have another source of income. So I need this to have that for me. So those are a few reasons why I don't procrastinate much. And in terms of selling online, if you're a newbie, I'm going to get to some of that stuff in later questions. Question number 5. Do you test pricing up or down to see what works best, or do you just stick to a number? This is a really good question, and something that because Udemy dropped their prices recently, it forced me to test prices. And when I dropped my prices on my own site on Video School Online from what they were around $200 or $300 to $20 or $25, I got way more students enrolling and an increase in overall revenue. No one bought my courses when they were just sitting on my site for $300. Sometimes when I did a good webinar and a good sales funnel, I was able to make those higher price sales. But when my courses were just sitting on my website and I was just driving traffic from YouTube or from my blog to those courses, no one bought them. But when they're $20 or $25, that's not as much of a stretch for most people who are looking for an online course. And so it might be a no-brainer to buy. So that being said, I tested my prices lower, and that seemed to work on my own site. On Udemy, what I've found is that when they are doing all the fixed price sales, charging or listing high and selling low seems the way to go. I do have my courses ranged from $20 to $200 now, which is the full range, and I'm going to be seeing over the next couple months what's working. So check back over the next couple months. If you want, you can subscribe to my email list, where I do a monthly recap of the business, of the online course business, and I'll be talking about that over the next few months. And you can get that at videoschoolonline.com. Question number 6, do you mind sharing details on your webinar funnel? Okay, yeah, I'll try to. So actually, I'll be completely honest, I should be really better at webinars. My webinars are very simple. I used Blab for a while it was around. I'll use Google Hangouts. I have used GoToWebinar. I've used Zoom.us. I've used Webinar Jam. They're all great, and they all have pros and cons. The ones you pay for, you obviously get more tools and more ways to track people and to send emails and all that kind of stuff. But I like to keep my expenses low and keep things a little bit more simple. So usually what I do is just send an email to a particular segment of my email list, because I do segment them. I'll segment them as photographers or videographers or online course creators. And then if I'm doing a webinar that they might be interested in, I'll just send them an email with the link to the webinar to register, or just when it's happening. And I'll just drive traffic to that webinar, and I'll then in the webinar, have the webinar. I'll try to make the sale. And then sometimes I'll send a follow-up message. And I say sometimes because sometimes I don't. And I really need to. So if you want to help me with webinars, help me. I would love to have someone who was just an assistant who ran webinars for me or figured it all out, because it is tricky. It is crucial though. And it is one way that I know I could really increase my income if I was doing webinars. Question number, what are we on? 7. What would you recommend doing first? Building a platform and understanding the problem, or developing a course on a hot topic? This is probably my favorite question that I got. I always encourage people to not care about the money and not care about, oh, is this course going to sell? Is this course on the hot topics list? What are the hot topics? Let me see and let me teach those. That's not a good way to get into creating online courses, because one, all you're caring about is the money in the end. And when you care about the money, your course creation lacks. You don't care as much about creating a great product, solving that problem for the student. And all you care about is getting that course up there. And I've fallen into this trap. I've done this before. If I'm honest with myself, there's lots of times when I've done things and promoted or launched a course too early or too quickly, and I didn't put up enough effort into creating the course. All this being said, I think what you should do when you're starting out is create a course that you love. Start with something that you'll have fun teaching, have fun talking about, and just see, do you like standing in your room by yourself, talking to a little camera, talking to nobody, with all the, and trying to figure out all this equipment, having to edit yourself? Do you enjoy that? Because if you don't enjoy it, there's lots of other ways to make money out there. And I encourage you to check those other ways to make money, because you want to have fun making money. So teach something you love. And so that goes back to what you asked about building a platform and understanding the problem. I think that's the best way to do it. Build your brand, start a YouTube channel, start your social media profile, start your website, get people on your email list, ask people what the problems they have are, and then create a solution for that. Create a solution for that with your courses. Question number 8. If time is limited, would you recommend using it to keep creating more courses, or would you focus on building up your own platform and other marketing content? This is a tough question. I think it really depends on where you are in your process. Are you a full-time course creator? Because if you are, you should have time for both. But if you're a part-time course creator and you have a full-time job and you want to grow this thing to be big in the long run, I would focus on building your platform and your other content on YouTube, on your blog, building that email list. Because you will, like we talked about before, know what the problems are and build that brand so that when you do sell and create your first course or your next course, you'll have a bigger audience to sell it to. And you'll have more data to create an even better course to solve more problems. At the same time, if you're a full-time course creator, sometimes what you have to do to maintain your income or grow your income to make sure that you can do this full-time is create more courses. And that's one of the best ways that I've found to increase my income is just to create more courses. But I know some people that make 6-7 figures with one online course every year. So it's not necessary that you have 70 plus courses to make full-time income. I know lots of people that do it with just a few. And using the 80-20 rule, 20% of my courses make up 80% of my income. So if I had only created those or only focused on those 20% topics, I could either grow my business or not have to create as many courses and focus more on marketing. So that's a tough question because I think in the end you have to do both. And so if you can only do one though, you do have to have that audience to sell to. So I would do that. Have one course at least, have a couple courses maybe, have a free course that you can drive people to get on your list. But don't worry about creating a ton of courses until you have that audience and that name recognition. Question number 9, one more to go. I am a complete beginner willing to get into the world of online teaching. Needless to say, I don't have an email list nor any existing audience. How can I get started? One is figure out who your target market is. You don't want an email list with millions of people that don't really care about you or your services or your product. You want a targeted, small, high quality list. I see people give out iPads and TVs and lots of stuff for people in return to get on their email list. The problem with doing those kinds of techniques is that you get everybody in the world who wants an iPad on your list. But if you're trying to sell paleo diet smoothies, then you're not going to do that well with that entire list. But instead, if you focused on your list, you gave away content related to that niche on YouTube or on your blog, and continue to drive people to your email list, giving away a PDF, a book, a video series, something that's related to that list, then you'll grow that smaller but better list, and you'll be able to make more sales with that list in the end. And you won't have to pay for all those people on that big list that will never buy from you anyways. So to answer your question, YouTube videos, blog articles, answering questions on Quora, being on social media, just being present online, making sure people can find you, and giving out a ton of great free content. It's really as simple as that. And question number 10, last one, have you made money on U-Learning? And besides Udemy and your own site, what other learning platforms have made you some money? U-Learning, never made money. I don't even think I have classes on there. Udemy, great. Skillshare, just as great. Skillfeed, did great, but now it's gone. Skill Success, done pretty good. Made over $1,000 in 1 month there. Stack Skills, Skillwise. So if you want to start a new online learning platform, don't use the word skill in it. I think that's been overdone. But Stack Skills and Skillwise are part of Stack Commerce, which is Stack Social, which sells bundles of things. And all that together has done pretty well for me. Ofcourse.co.uk is a UK-based platform. I've made a few $100s on average every month from there. Adobe Know-How, done a bit there. Curious.com is growing. Amazing.com, up and down. It's a little bit tricky to get on there, but I have made money from there. And CyberU, I'm starting to make some money. And I'm going to include links to all those in the blog article below. So check out that blog article. There's a link below, and you can get all of these answers in text form. I copy and pasted the text that I responded to people on Facebook, and I will include links to some of the resources I talked about throughout this video. So, wow, I am done. I am beat. I'm going to go. It's almost 5 o'clock here when I'm recording this, so it's time to shut down. Thank you for watching. If you have any more questions about creating or selling online courses, please leave them below in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to them as soon as possible. Thanks, and have a great day.